No, I loved what I was doing. I keep repeating that, but it's absolutely true. And I was a firm believer that if I got out in public, and say there were 100 people at the golf tournament or whatever, 3 or 4 of them are going to tune in to find out what I sound like on the radio if they haven't heard me before. And I played tons of charity golf tournaments because I would promote it before it happened. I would MC the award dinner at the tournament, and then I'd go back on the air at night and talk about it again.
I counted that you worked with about 34 charities or something, offered services.
I did.
Yes.
I was so honored to be invited to do it. My leukemia radiothon, which I hosted the full 24 hours for 22 years, and we raised millions and millions of dollars for the fight against leukemia. And I'm very proud of that. I'm proud that I got invited to be involved, and wish I could do it all over again.
I want to talk to Miss Tappa. You were Miss Everything back then. Miss Tappa, what was that?
It was Miss Tappa Cola. It was a Diet Cola. It was the very first diet drink on the market. And I was saying that I won the contest, but Tappa Cola fizzled. It didn't make it. But then I was in Miss Motorama. I won the Miss Motorama contest. And then I thought, well, if I can win that, I can win the Miss Washington. And of course, I was in the Miss Washington. I was a runner-up. And then I thought, well, let's go to the auto show. So I did that, and I was runner-up there. And Bill can tell you that story.
Tell us, Bill.
There were 4 Ames brothers, a vocal group, and
I
had been invited to be the judges at this contest. And we didn't pick her. And to pay me back,
I married him. I said I'm going to marry him and make him pay for the rest of his life because he didn't vote for me.
Well, Shirley, did he ever say, I'm sorry or anything like that?
No, because the girl that won was really beautiful. She had long black hair. Her name was Joanne Holler, and she's the one that introduced us.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. 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 Did you have a crush on her?
always.
Oh, okay. I thought so.
And I think you were Miss Utility.
Oh, I was, yeah. Isn't that silly? I was
Miss Utility Truck.
Miss Utility
Yes,
Truck. It was a utility truck company. And I was singing at the Madrillon at the time, and I did a modeling show, and one of the secretaries was there, and she said, I think Mr. Utility would like to see you. We're looking to promote our company. So I won Miss Utility Truck, and I went up to Atlantic City and worked their conventions. And that was fun, you know, that was exposure.
You know, Chuck, I got a great idea. I know who the next Miss Out of the Past show
Yes.
is. You've just won.
Oh, all right.
And if the three of us are the judge, you have a chance to recoup if you'll vote with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
What few people know, Bill, now seriously, what few people know is Bill was one of the first talk show hosts here in Washington. Isn't that correct, Bill? I'm talking about Glen Echo, the bands, the shows you did.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did. But that was the music show to the Mutual Network when I was at WOL. Every Friday night they'd have a big band, and I was invited to be the host for that. And enjoyed that very, very much. I also did a show called Midnight with Mayhugh from the grill room of the Ambassador Hotel, which
That's the one I was thinking about.
Yeah, is that the one you're thinking of?
Yes, because you did interviews and all of that stuff.
Yeah. The only connected mafia man I ever knew was a friend of mine. And I would be sitting up at the table doing the thing to this room full of people at the grill room, and he'd walk up in back of me, and when the commercial was on, he'd tap me on the back, and he'd say very quietly, tomorrow night, Rocky Marciano will be your guest. He'll get here at 20 minutes after midnight.
And you will interview him.
and then this guy would walk away, right? What was I going to do, not have him on?
No.
And about 3 months later, something like that, I'd get a tap on the back, and he'd say, the wrestler Primo Canary is coming in. Do him right after 12 midnight news, because he hadn't got a lot of time. He wouldn't say, will you, or do you mind? He would tell me that that's what I was going to do. And you know Don Rickles?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Can I tell him that
I
story?
don't know if you should tell them that story.
I'm going to.
Go ahead, go ahead, Bill.
You can edit it out, right, if you want. My mother, who was very, very religious, Ninth Street Christian Church in Northeast Washington, had told all her church members that she was going down to see Bill's radio show. And it happened that Don Rickles' mother was here. And Don Rickles' mother and my mother were seated up on the little balcony. And Rickles comes around after his show at the Wayne Room, and I said, Don, I want to welcome you to one of the really nice rooms in Washington. He says, what do you mean nice? Look at those two hookers over there.
Pointing to his
True
mother.
story. And he pointed to his mother and my mother. My mother lived to age 87 and despised him because she was convinced everybody in the church who had tuned in knew that she had been called that.
I love the interaction where the couples who come on talk to each other and share the stories and
make comments.
And make comments, yes.
Well, you know, actually, besides that mafia guy Bill told you about, was his assistant, the real power behind Mr. Mayhugh was Shirley.
Yes.
You helped line up interviews, you helped the legwork, so to speak.
Well, not all of it, but I did some of it. I enjoyed it very much. I think what I enjoyed the most was when we had the Leukemia Radiothon and helping out there and making all that money for research for leukemia. And then eventually my sister died of leukemia. She was 51. Yeah.
Well, Bill, the other guys like myself consider that an unfair advantage because we had to do all of that just by ourselves. We didn't have Sherry Gibson with us. Yeah. How did you pick that name?
Don Hearn. Remember Don Hearn that wrote for the News? Was it the News?
Yeah, News.
He was there the evening that I was to begin singing with Joe Rickardell's orchestra there at the Harlequin Room in D.C., at the Sheraton Carlton. And they didn't like my name Culpepper. It was not a stage name. It just didn't sound good. So there was a hotel, was it in Chicago? The Sheraton Gibson. And he said, I like the name Sherry. How about, and a Gibson girl, how about Sherry Gibson? I said, okay, it's all right. So I sang under the name of Sherry Gibson.
You'll never know just how much I love you. And you'll never know if you don't know now.
Great singing.